Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Dwight Schrute's Toys, and today I'm going to be working on a crossover mashup diorama project that was inspired by a meme that I saw floating around the internet. I'm going to take two characters, Dwight Schrute from The Office and Baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm going to merge them together to create Groot Schrute, or Dwight Groot. However you want to look at it, this is going to be a fun project, so let's get started. The first step towards making Baby Groot look like Dwight Schrute was to give him some hair. Now I found this cheap doll at the dollar store, and I was able to cut the hair off with a pair of scissors. The hair itself was a bit wavy, so I used a hair straightener to straighten it out, and I had to be a little bit careful not to use too much heat because I could see that some of the hair was starting to melt, but I eventually straightened it out into the shape that I had in mind. And then I used some sticky tack to attach it onto the Groot figure's head. Next, I needed to make some glasses, and for this I used a couple of paper clips. I bent them into the right shape and used super glue and a little bit of clay to hold them together. Finally, he needed some clothes. Unfortunately, I didn't have a mustard yellow dress shirt like the one Dwight often wears, but I figured I could use a white shirt and then color it yellow in the final photo by using Photoshop. I put all these clothes on the figure, and he ended up looking like this. Now that the figure was finished, I needed to build a miniature version of the Office set. I started by building some tables. I cut up a few pieces of foam board and wrapped a wood pattern around the top piece to make it look like a wooden tabletop. I then glued everything together with the glue gun. I also made a couple of filing cabinets by using the same technique, wrapping a paper design around some pieces of foam board and then gluing everything together. Next, I wanted to make a miniature stapler and enclose it in some Jell-O. So I made a stapler out of polymer clay, and I tried to put it in some Jell-O, but it just wouldn't stick together. So I decided to try out some epoxy resin. Now, I had never used this before, so I had to watch a few YouTube videos to learn the process, but I managed to create a nice yellow mix by using some food coloring. I let it sit for 24 hours, and it came out pretty well. Since this was the first time that I'd ever tried using epoxy, it took a few attempts to get things right, but I was really happy with the final result. Next, I wanted to build some more items to place on the desks, so I used some more polymer clay to make a couple of telephones and computers. After sculpting the basic shape, I printed out some images and glued them onto the clay. I also made some mini pencils, file folders, and paper documents. Finally, I made some accessories to put on the wall, things like a map, Creed's photos, some window blinds, and a cork board. Once it was all finished, it was just a matter of putting everything together. This project took 4 days to make, which is longer than usual, but since I'm a big fan of The Office, it was one of the most enjoyable dioramas that I've ever worked on. After putting it all together, I took a photo, did a little bit of tweaking in Photoshop, and this was the final result. If you want to get a closer look at the image, check out my account on Instagram at Dwight Schrute's Toys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.